Howdy. With this video, I want to go over the schedule real quickly, then go over the MLA Career Project. Make sure we all see what we're getting into there. I'm doing this video on Thursday, June 13th. For tomorrow, the 14th, you should be getting the final version of Essay 1 in and the self-review. Let me know if you have any questions as you're doing that. But for Monday, the 17th, journals 4 through 6 are coming due. Just the same thing as the first three. You're going to do journals 4 through 6. They each have a prompt. The first one has a reading. It's from the Bible. Nobody's trying to convert you or anything like that. But it's a really interesting passage about Jesus saying, hey, you've been given some talents in life. What are you going to do with those talents? What are those talents? It's kind of an interesting question. We realize our talents as we continue to grow older. Sometimes finding new ones is kind of neat. But what are your talents? Is the career you're going into going to tap into those talents? How's all that going to work? If you're an extrovert and you get into they put you in a back room by yourself, you're going to be miserable, right? You have a talent for talking to people and being outgoing. You want to capitalize on that talent and do something that's going to develop it. So that's kind of what the question is there. What kind of separates you from the crowd? Can you develop these talents over the next 4 to 5 years? Jesus is really down on people who just bury their talents in and just leave them there undeveloped. So kind of an interesting question to get us ready for this career essay, right? Then kind of a mental health question. How's your semester going so far? I think it's going well. Are there some adjustments you can make to make things go a little bit better? And just kind of thinking about those self-regulated learner ideas and how we might apply those to the rest of the semester. If you're transferring out of Northeast State or you're a dual enrollment student, have you talked to the college you're going to after Northeast State? A lot of students wait till the last minute to do that, and it can cause a lot of problems. So, have you applied to the other college? Have you talked to anybody over there? Is everything going to transfer properly? Just kind of putting the bug in the back of your head. But really just wanting to know how you're doing so far this semester. And then number 6, I want you to go to that website and research the career you're going to pursue with your college degree or your certificate. What kind of money you're going to make? What kind of where's the stress at in the job? Is it rising, declining in terms of employment? It's just some basic research that'll get us ready for the first essay. You need to get 150 words out of each one. Please put them all in one document when you send those. But again, basically I'm grading on how well you've responded to the prompt and whether or not you made the word count. I'm not worried about sentence structure or any, one misspelled word here or there. It should be English, but other than that, trying to get to 150 words as fast as you can. All right, let's schedule. There it is. So that's what's coming due on the 17th. On the 19th, I want to see your academic plan and your resume. Your academic plan is a list of the courses you need to take semester by semester in the order you're actually going to take them until you get your first college degree. We're going to include that in the career essay. So make sure you're doing that in a program that you can cut and paste into your essay. And I'll do a separate video showing you where to find out that information. Sometimes students, particularly if you're only taking 4 classes this semester, you're going to be a little off on Northeast State's idealized academic plan, and most students are. But just taking Comp 1 over the summer means you're probably a little off on the prescribed academic plan, but that's normal. Don't be off put by that. But you want to kind of see where you're going to end up, in 2 more years. You don't want to end up having to take, 2 summer classes to get to your degree. My daughter's having to do that. She's 2 classes away. So she's trying to figure out. There's all kinds of interesting things you can do. You can do reverse transfer and things like that, but you want to kind of see where you're going to end up in terms of basic planning. And I'm also looking for a copy of your resume. If you don't have one, the video will show you how to create one using a Word template or a Google Docs template. If you already have one, you're just going to revise that towards the career you're planning on getting or planning on pursuing with your college degree. But those are getting us ready for the essay. Then once we get to Friday the 21st, I want to see your first 2 paragraphs of the career essay. These might be a little rough, but we want to make sure you're on the right track, you have the right idea. Then we'll be working on the essay, and then the draft will be due on the 26th. And by then, once we get to that, we'll start trading out papers, doing peer reviews. It's kind of fun to see other people writing into class and struggling a little bit. And I'm hopefully not struggling too much, but it's good to see other people, other students, having to work at it. Then the peer reviews will be due, and we'll try and get that final version in around July 4th there on the 3rd. You're going to start seeing, once you turn into peer reviews, I need a little time to go over them, make sure the peer reviewers don't mislead the original writer. That's why you all are kind of starting on the next journals while I'm still reviewing the peer reviews, and then that final version will be due on Wednesday there. Then we'll start on the next essay. And you're going to kind of see that process. We start with pre-writing exercises like the journals, the academic plan, the resume. Then we start with drafting, look at your first 2 paragraphs. You ask questions. Then you turn in the draft. Then we go to the revising stage. Then after you get that feedback back, we go to the editing and submission phase, right? We do that with all 4 essays. All righty. For the career essay assignment, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Right there we go. Because I'll do a separate video going over a sample essay and all the nitty gritty. I wanted to download that. Hold on. So you're going to write a 1,200 word essay that researches the college degree you hope to earn and the job you hope to obtain with that college degree. More precisely, the career you hope to obtain with your college degree. Young people today are probably going to have 2 or 3 different careers throughout their lifetime. This will not be your last time in college. They're going to send you back and get you retrained to do something else. Some of the careers we're training for haven't even been invented yet, right? 20 years ago, there was no such thing as a YouTube influencer because there was no such thing as YouTube. But technology is creating interesting new things. It's going to be kind of exciting, maybe a little scary to see where all that goes. If you're not quite sure what you want to do with your college degree, pick a specific field to research, and kind of go for the dream. If you want to be an artist, can you do that? Can you get out there and create art that can sell and make you money and give you a career of some kind? Or whatever it is, the dream might be. Otherwise, if you kind of know what you're looking at, what you're here for, we want to kind of research that and make sure you're on the right track. Should have MLA formatting, going to use at least 4 sources. One's going to be the source of that academic plan. One's going to be the source of your labor statistics. And so, it's not a lot of research involved. It's kind of a guided research essay in that sense. Then you probably need a source telling you where the stressors are in the job and what the good things are about the job. So it won't be that hard to get the sources in there. We're going to start getting fancier with the MLA formatting, with quoting, summarizing, and paraphrasing. And then I want you to have all these fun punctuation. There's a punctuation help sheet up there on the help resources page, on the content page. That'll help you with that. But the way the essay is going to work, the first section is going to kind of discuss, why you're interested in this career. If you're interested in the medical field, where you're always putting Band-Aids on your kittens when you were little, or if you want to be a teacher, did you used to sit your siblings down and give them lessons on various topics? What kind of got you started thinking about this particular career? There are other family members in this career that kind of inspired you to pursue this. It's just different for everybody, right? But eventually, and you might also have to define a career using a source. If you get into a very specific field of welding or something, you might have to actually define what that is using a source so we understand what you're pursuing. But overall, when you get to your thesis, your primary argument is going to be that you're suitable for this chosen career and that you have a clearly articulated plan to be successful in that career. So that'll be your thesis. It's an argument essay in that sense, where you're saying, hey, I have a plan and I'm going to be successful at what I do. The second section gets into the plan, particularly with education. What kind of degree do you need? What kind of post-degree trainings are you going to have to go through? Just because you get a nursing degree from Northeast State does not mean you're a nurse. You've got to pass that NCLEX. So one source of information in your essay might be, how often do Northeast State nursing graduates pass the NCLEX? It's actually pretty high. It's a good thing. But if you don't pass that, you're just a very educated non-nurse person, right? Same thing if you want to be a CPA, certified public accountant. You get your degree, then you have to take the test. How many people pass the test? How many tries does it usually take? You want to get into that kind of information. So what kind of professional certifications, additional training? If you want to be a travel nurse, you might have to get your nursing degree, then go on to additional training to be trained in how to just walk into a place and be confident. What kind of physical abilities do you need? For English teaching, not much, right? For nursing, you're on your feet, 8, 10, 12 plus hours a day. You got to lift heavy people. You got to be able to deal with drunks and people on drugs, and particularly if you're going to be an ER nurse. What kind of physical abilities do you have to have? What kind of personality traits? I should never be a nurse. I'm not particularly empathetic towards other people when they're hurting. I don't really care about myself. I just limp around and I'm fine. You kind of got to care about other people if you want to be a nurse, right? And so on some level. So do you have that personality traits? Can you handle, if you want to be a nurse or in the medical field, can you handle patients dying on you? Particularly a lot of people say they want to be a neonatal nurse. Can you handle babies dying? It's going to be part of the job. Do you have the personality that can deal with that kind of stress? In this section, you're going to include the academic plan, where you're going to list semester by semester the courses you need to take to get to that first college degree. If you're going to transfer, I just want the first degree. It's probably Northeast State. But if you're doing enrollment, you might have to go to whatever college you're going to go to. You might want to talk about the costs. So really, it's a career essay, but a lot of this is about the training, the education, and all the other things you need to do before you can even start the career. And sometimes this might make you hesitate a little bit about the careers. I have quite a few students say they want to get into pharmacy, but that's like 7-8 years of education. It's a doctoral level degree for the most part. It's a lot of money, and you don't make a ton of money being a pharmacist. And it's a high-stress job, right? If I misgrade a paper, nothing bad happens. I might have to regrade it, but nobody dies. If you screw up a prescription, you could seriously hurt somebody, right? So it's going to be different for everybody, depending on your field. But what kind of education, what kind of certifications, and do you have the personality and physical abilities to do the job? Section 3. Kind of just the basic information about the career. Are there job opportunities out there? What kind of pay you're going to get? Is it enough money for you? You're not going to get rich being a teacher, right? You will probably make some money being an underwater welder. They make a lot of money, but it's a very specific field that has a lot of dangers, right? But are there local job opportunities? Are you willing to move across country or outside the country to pursue your career? What are the future prospects of the job? And the Bureau of Labor Statistics will give you that information. It's interesting. Some engineering fields are declining because they use engineers from overseas. They can pay them less, and they're as educated as American engineers, and why not? What kind of upper mobilities? If you're a nurse for 10 years and your back starts hurting and your knees start buckling, what else can you do with that nursing degree? Can you go into teaching? Can you go into management? Same thing with welding and other physical jobs like that. You can't do that forever. So at what point do you want to move up into management? What's it take to move into management? Or do you want to move kind of sideways? That can work too. But kind of deal with the question, are there other possible jobs that career track might open for you? One problem with teaching English is, I can't really just open my English shop in downtown Kingsport or something. I'm going to have to work to change careers if I need to do that. Also, I want you to start looking at some of the negative sides of the job. Where's the stress come from? Is there a high turnover rate? About half the people who graduate with a teaching degree get into something else after the first 5 years. That's a lot of energy to get that teaching degree to decide you don't want to do it after 5 years, right? So where's that stress coming from? And make sure as you're giving this information, you're commenting on that information. Don't just say teaching stressful. It's like, well, yeah, we all know that. How are you going to deal with that stress? How do other teachers deal with that stress? Then the fourth section. So again, the second section, what are the requirements for the job? Third section, kind of defining the job, getting into a lot more detail about what you're getting into. Then section 4 is discussing your overall suitability for the job, including what can you do over the next couple of years to make yourself more marketable for your program. If you're doing your resume and you're thinking, man, if I want to be a nurse, I'm going to have to do more than work at Burger King for the next 2 years or just sit in classes. Can you job shadow? Can you do volunteer work? Are there internships, externships, whatever? But what can you do to make yourself more marketable over the next 4 years so that when you do get your degree, you will get a job? There's a lot of people that are going to graduate the same degree you have competing for those jobs. Are the professional student clubs or organizations that you can join, start making contacts, starting getting involved? My first degree was a culinary degree, and they strongly encouraged us to get into various culinary organizations so you can network, get certified in different ways, and be able to get a job once you graduated. But kind of want you to kind of talk about that. Then your conclusion should kind of take us out to the big picture. It's like, hey, I got a plan. This is the job I want. I'm doing this to be make myself marketable so I get a job with my degree and be successful in the field. So the conclusion might be maybe a little on the shorter side for this essay, but because you've kind of proven your point throughout the essay, but kind of takes that to the big picture. Tell us what your future looks like. And then we'll have our career essay. Again, hopefully this is something you're already interested in. It's your life, right? And you're spending a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money and a lot of your family life and all these other things you could be doing just in this class and in pursuing this college degree. So do you have a good plan? Do you know what you've gotten yourself into? And things like that. Academic plan can really help you focus on what you need to be doing and see what you need to be doing throughout your academic career. But hopefully that helps a little bit. Again, I'm going to do a separate video on the resume and academic plan, then a separate video going over a sample career essay once we get to that point. But if you have any questions about this, be sure to let me know. And we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.